The Golden Goose. Follow along with your copy. There was a man who had 3 sons. The youngest son was named Drumling. Poor Drumling. Everybody was mean to him. One day, the oldest son wanted to go into the forest to cut wood. His mother gave him a beautiful cake and a bottle of juice, so he would not get too hungry or thirsty. Not long after, the oldest son met an old man who asked him to share his cake and juice because he was so hungry and so thirsty. But the boy said, "No, go away." Unfortunately, when the boy was chopping a tree, he had an accident and cut his arm, so he had to go home and get it bandaged up. He thought it might have been the little old man's doing. The second son then went into the forest to cut wood. His mother again gave him a beautiful cake and a bottle of juice so he would not get too hungry or thirsty. Soon, the second son met the same old man his older brother had met. The old man asked for a small amount of cake and juice because he was so hungry and so thirsty. But, just like his older brother, the second son told the old man, "No, go away." Sadly for the second son, he also had an accident and cut his leg and had to be carried home and bandaged up. Then Drumling asked his father, "Dad, may I go out and cut wood in the forest?" His father answered no. He explained that it would be a bad idea since both his older brothers had been injured when they did that. But Drumling begged his father until his father said he could go, but he warned Drumling that he would probably get hurt. Drumling's mother gave him a cake made of old flour and no sugar, and she gave him a bottle of sour vinegar water for his food and drink. Drumling met the same old man who asked him to share his cake and juice. Drumling said, "I will share with you, but the cake is not good, and the juice is only vinegary water." The old man said, "It's okay with me." So they sat down and ate together. Magically, when they shared the food, the cake became delicious and the water became a sweet fruit juice better than Drumling had ever tasted. Then the man said to Drumling, "Because you were so kind to me, I will give you good luck. Do you see that tree over there? Chop it down and you will find something good at the roots." Then the old man left. So Drumling went to the tree he was told about and chopped it down. At the roots he saw a goose made entirely out of gold. He was so surprised. By this time, he was tired and decided to take the goose and go to the nearest inn and sleep there overnight. The innkeeper had 3 daughters who saw the goose and admired it, and thought they would like to have one of its beautiful golden feathers. The oldest sister decided to sneak over to the goose when Drumling was asleep and pluck one of its feathers. But when she did, she got stuck to the goose and could not free herself. The second sister also wanted a feather, but as soon as she entered, she saw her older sister stuck to the goose. She touched her sister's arm and became stuck to her sister and could not get free. The youngest sister came in too to get a golden feather. The other two sisters yelled for her to stay away, but it was too late. Now all three of them were stuck to one another and the goose, and they had to spend the night like that. In the morning, Drumling came and collected his goose and began to walk in the direction of his home, with the three sisters tripping over each other as they were pulled along because they were still attached to the goose. In the field, the group met the parson of the church. He told the girls they should go straight home, and when he clasped the hand of the youngest sister to direct her to go home, he too became stuck, and the procession was now longer. The priest caught up with the group and took the sleeve of the parson, saying, "You should come back. We have a christening to do this afternoon." No sooner had he touched the parson's sleeve when he too became stuck. Now it was Drumling and his goose, plus 5 people all walking in a wavy line. The group passed 2 farm workers who came over to try to help separate the stuck people, but they too became hopelessly stuck to the group. Now it was Drumling and his group of 7 people walking through the field. What a sight it was! Soon afterward, the group came to a city where a king lived who had a daughter who never smiled and who never laughed. The king was so worried for his daughter, the princess, that he put out a decree that whoever could make her laugh would win her hand in marriage. When Drumling heard this, he went with his goose and all her train before the princess. When the princess saw the 7 people, one behind the other, running on and on, she began to laugh out loud. She could not stop laughing. She laughed and laughed for a long time. Drumling asked if he could marry the king's daughter. The king said yes, and they were married. After the king died, Drumling became the new king and lived a long, happy life with his wife, who now laughed quite often.